any new version that someone wants to do to screw Elon Musk. So help us out with
So
sharing.
sorry. Oh my God, I'm so
I'm at
sorry.
least-
I just
I'm gonna
ruined
use
that
that one at
so
least
bad.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai.
Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's Lulu! It's a dream return!
Hey everybody, welcome to Casual FC World Cup Preview Podcast, at least for a little while. I'm your host, Angela Morales, with my co-host, Mario Salazar. Since this is the World Cup edition, check out our first episode in the series for a recap on all things World Cup and an explanation of the group stages, all that good stuff. You can watch the English broadcast on all of the Fox networks. They'll be on Fox, FS1, foxsports.com, the app, any streaming app that carries Fox, YouTube, TV, Sling, what have you. It just means that you have to have a TV login or some kind of login situation with the different networks.
Or, old school antenna.
Right, or an antenna or radio, all that good stuff. For Spanish language broadcasts, Telemundo is the place to be. All the matches will be on Telemundo and the Universo channels, and they'll also be streaming on Peacock in Spanish. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Watch them in Spanish. It's so much fun. Even if you don't speak Spanish, it is absolutely worth your time because it is always a good time. We know how to enjoy soccer. We know how to have a good time as a culture.
It's in
It
our
definitely
blood.
shows. Yeah, it's in our blood. If you don't remember who's playing when or what's going on, keep an eye on all of our social feeds. We'll be posting TV schedules for all the upcoming matches there because we want you to watch them. We want you to have fun. Let's talk group stages. We're going to kick everything off with Group A, who is New Zealand, Norway, Philippines, and Switzerland. We get to kick this off with our captain, New Zealand's captain, Ali Riley.
Oh,
She
Captain,
plays for
my
New
captain.
Zealand. Yes, oh, Captain, my captain, until the cows come home, until pigs fly, until forever, I will ride or die for Ali Riley.
I mean, if just in case you missed it, she got re-signed to an Angel City contract through 2025. So we've got her on the team for another 2 years.
A couple more years. Yeah. And hopefully after that, she resigns again. I just want her to stay, and I want her to enjoy every bit of playing in LA.
Just enjoy playing in LA, and you know what? When you're ready to hang up the shoes, keep them on and just become a part of the
become a
staff.
coach. Yeah, come join the front office. Come hang out with me in the stands. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'll pay for your seat.
All right, so you get to watch Ali Riley and the Ferns take on Norway in the very first match of the 2023 World Cup. It will be airing on Fox and Telemundo and Peacock and all the Fox networks in English and in Spanish starting at midnight, going from Wednesday the 19th into Thursday the 20th. So that midnight is where you want to tune in to kick off the World Cup.
Yeah, it's like those weird, red-eye flights that you get. You're like, okay, I bought the ticket. It's for the 20th, but I got to get myself to the airport on the 19th.
Right.
So just make sure whatever you're doing on Wednesday, the 19th, you will get yourself ready, take a nap if you need to. And, once that clock strikes midnight, Cinderella's about to hit the pitch. And,
exactly.
And get it all started.
We mentioned it in the World Cup kickoff episode, but I am a huge advocate of setting your alarms and watching the games in the middle of the night. It is more than worth it. Find a friend who wants to watch the game with you, text each other, hang out. It's a fun experience. I don't think you know this, Mario, but that's actually how Eva and I wound up getting together, as a couple. During the Olympics.
Through World Cup? Oh, through Olympics. Okay.
Yeah, they're playing in Tokyo, so it's like games are at 4 a.m. or like whatever. And we have a mutual friend. We met through a mutual friend years ago, and I posted the schedule, and she was like, "Oh, thanks so much. I've been meaning to look it up." And then that was it. Like, no big deal. And we kept talking about soccer because we were both excited about the Olympics and everything. And I was like, "Oh, hey, are you gonna stay up to watch the game?" And she was like, "Yeah, me too. Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna be up." And then we did this for every game at like basketball, soccer, volleyball, swimming. Like, we just kept doing it. And then like a month later, she asked me out, and that was 2 years ago. So here we are.
There you go. See, soccer brings everybody together. And you know what? The World Cup is like the perfect like gateway entry for a lot of people. Drag your friend that might be soccer curious and get them into all of this because they're gonna get hooked. It's gonna be exciting.
Find watch parties. Angel City will be posting their different watch parties. We're posting as many as we can find. It's a communal event, and it's so much fun to watch these games with people. Whether you're like both streaming it and it's the middle of the night and you're texting each other because everybody's half asleep, you're at a bar, at a school, at somebody's house having a big sleepover, like find your people, watch these games. I'll soapbox for this forever.
Yeah.
All right. So for the Ferns, they are looking to make it out of the group stages for the first time at this World Cup. They unfortunately have not won a game in World Cup. They've always qualified. Like when they've made their appearances, they've qualified, but they've never tucked away none of their belt. They've never like made it past that qualification excitement. I would love them to win a game, win multiple games, make it out of the groups. I think it would be really good. And I think they have a pretty good shot with this group that they're in. Our captain, Ali Riley, she has 150 caps for New Zealand. So that's 150 appearances for this team. She made her debut in 2007 for their national team in international play. So she's been around. She knows. I feel like she's probably known by every single player in the World Cup because she is Smiley Riley. She's beloved. She's great. Yeah, like
that's the first time I've heard that.
Really? That's her nickname. Like Smiley Riley is that's just Smiley Riley.
I mean, I see it, but I don't know why I've never actually heard Smiley Riley.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. Other players on the Ferns to watch: Katie Bowen. If you're a longtime NWSL fan, she spent 6 seasons in the NWSL with Kansas City Football Club, Utah Royals, Kansas City Current, like the back and forth between Kansas City and Utah, and then North Carolina as well. Erin Naylor technically played for Sky Blue, but she never actually suited up, so the name might sound familiar. Hannah Wilkinson is a fantastic singer and guitarist. That just was fun to say. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. One of the big talking points and the big like things for the Ferns and for New Zealand right now is Rebecca Stott. She played for the Seattle Reign and then Sky Blue. And just as a quick reminder, Sky Blue is now Gotham. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, in 2021, she was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And her goal was, like the entire time, her goal was to get her body into remission and to return in time for the World Cup roster. And boom, she's back.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, and in the midst of all of this, she's created a thing called Beat It by Stotty, which is a bag that you can take with you to cancer treatment. So it's based on her own experience. You buy the bag, it has supplies in it, compartments, like if you need blankets, water bottles, snacks, Band-Aids, anti-nausea meds, whatever other meds you need, like all that kind of stuff. It's one of those things that was made for someone by someone who's been through the experience. And I've dealt a lot with cancer in my family, in my friends, and this is a big deal. Just in general.
Yeah,
big time.
No, this is huge. And I mean, the having gone through something like that and then getting yourself prepped in time to return for a World Cup
right
is
in 2 years.
Like crazy unthinkable.
Right.
And
Right.
you know what? I think, geez, okay, now I'm gonna look up the numbers because we're gonna need numbers for all these players.
Oh, totally.
So in these couple podcasts, I'll just warn everybody that you might hear a lot of clicking and a lot of typing in the
Background
background,
research.
and that's basically because we're pulling up information as we keep going. So we've got Allie Riley, number 7 for the Ferns, and then can you read off the other names because I'm looking at 2 different pages here.
Yeah, for sure. Katie Bowen,
She's gonna be number 14.
Rebecca Stott.
She is number 13.
Perfect. Erin Naylor.
Erin is number 1.
Well, that should be easy. And then Hannah Wilkinson.
Hannah Wilkinson is number 17.
Perfect. So that's our little sum up of New Zealand. And you want to take over for Norway?
Let's go on to Norway. Caveat, as the casual, a lot of this information is going to come from stuff that I've been able to Google. But Norway are coming in. They are previous World Cup winners. They won in 95, which was the second tournament. They've made it out of the group stage from every World Cup. So in contrast to New Zealand, who has never made it out, they've made it out of every single one. And then the main player that just everything I've looked up, there are amazing players on Norway, but the number one headliner that everybody kept pointing towards was Ada Hegerberg. And I apologize if I'm butchering the name, but she is crazy, just amazing. She is actually the first ever female recipient of the Ballon d'Or Feminine Award in 2018. And if you're new to all of this, the Ballon d'Or is it's like the top prize. It's like the MVP, but for all of soccer, just
it's just globally. You were the best player this season.
Yeah. You're not the MVP of your league, of the NWSL. You're not the MVP of the WSL. It's not like saying oh, you were the MVP in the World Series, right? That's only here.
You're the MVP of the entire planet.
Exactly. And she was the first ever female recipient of that, which is mind-blowing. So the big story here is her return. She missed the last World Cup as a protest against the Federation for lack of funds and support and a bunch of the other that women unfortunately have to endure when they're playing professional sports. So she basically protested her national team from 2017 through 2022. And I guess apparently they're getting better at what they're doing, and she feels comfortable coming back. And so now she's back for this World Cup.
Yeah, that's a huge story to have a player like her who's still playing for her clubs and everything, just not for her national team, winning awards, winning games, being fantastic, to say, I don't feel supported enough by my own country to represent them on the world stage. Get a grip. As a federation, get it together.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is a story that we're hearing a lot, when it comes through a lot of these federations. And
far more common than I think most people understand. And because of more collective bargaining agreements, more contract renewals, more rights for athletes internationally, we're finding out just how bad things have been. I'm sure people have heard the news clips of, the USA's equal pay CBA or the equal pay situation, the CBA, all the things for Team USA. Canada's going through it. France is going through it. Spain's going through it. Jamaica's going through it. It is an international thing that women in sports are devalued, and it's cool to see these countries and these federations get called out in different sports, but on a World Cup year, it stings a little extra because you want all of these teams to have all the training, the travel accommodations, all the everything that they deserve all the time.
Yeah. So to bring it back up, so let's make sure that you know who you're watching on the field. So Ada will be number 14 playing on Norway. Again, going to be a great team in this group stage. New Zealand has, their work cut out for them. And then next in the list, we've got the Philippines. And they are our first debutante that we'll be talking about. This is the first time that the Philippines will be in the World Cup. It's the first time the Philippines will be in any international FIFA tournament, either men's or women's. So this is huge for the Philippines. The making the World Cup is such a big boost to any team that makes it all the way to qualification, right? Like I remember, a couple years or 2 World Cups ago when Iceland for the men's World Cup made it. It was like a huge thing because literally they were like the town dentist and like a doctor, and they all had.
That's the common story outside of the U.S. or like Europe, where, or the bigger countries in Europe where you have
the big footballing countries.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is huge already for the Philippines, and it's gonna be amazing. So our players to watch on the Philippines, we've got Serena Bolden, who has punched the ticket for them. Serena is a U.S.-born player who plays for their national team, but she is the one that got the game-winning goal that actually punched their ticket to let them come to the World Cup, which is amazing. And they are, probably holding her on some big ass pedestal, and we're probably going to see her a lot more. And again,
she might end up as like the face of Filipino women's soccer for a while.
Yeah. And then just like with a couple of other federations, the Philippine team is made up of a lot of collegiate players, and a lot of these collegiate players are probably going to be spread out all over, the US, spread over, Europe sometimes, things like that. But so they're going to be a fairly young team, and this will be exciting to see them. I mean, they might get run over, but you never know.
They might show out. Like, it's so wild what happens because the teams that come in that have nothing to lose, and they surprise people because they aren't a team that there's video footage of. They aren't a team that has buzz around them. It's like, oh, cool, it's their first time. Good for you. Like, cool, good job, way to make it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hold on a second, they're real good.
Yeah. So for Serena, she's going to be a forward, right? She's the one that punched their ticket, so she's going to be number 7 on the Philippines. So that's, who we're going to keep our eye on, and hopefully the Philippines like get a result.
Right.
If they tie, that'll be huge. If that means that they've scored in the World Cup. So, I'm there for the story, and I'm there for the heart of it all. So
right. I very much want them to at least score. If they don't make it out of the group, if they don't, notch a couple wins, at least get on the board, because that is like, aside from qualifying, scoring is the next the next benchmark, and then after that, it's winning a game, and then it's getting out of the groups, and then like getting deep into the bracket. All right, so last but certainly not least, we have Switzerland. This is their second ever World Cup appearance. The last time they were there was in 2015 when they made it to the round of 16. So that's solid when you come in as a debut and you make it out of the groups and then you make it deep into the bracket. So Switzerland had like the dream appearance in 2015. And I remember watching some of those games and it was stressful. It was just good. It was good soccer. No one expected them to be as good as they were. And so I'm curious to see how they show up this year. players to watch on the Swiss team, Fabienne Hum, she had the fastest hat trick in Women's World Cup history, which that's hard. That's a lot. Like, to score 3 goals in an international tournament is already a lot. To score a hat trick, to have
3 goals in one game.
In one game. Yeah, in one game, in general, for a team is difficult. For one person is bonkers.
And then just to do it the fastest in World Cup history, or Women's World Cup history.
Yeah, like, absolutely wild. And I broke this name down phonetically. I really hope I'm saying it right, but Anna Maria Gorkovic. It's a different language. I'm trying real hard. She played for the Thorns, so she may sound familiar to longtime NWSL fans. But yeah, they're a team to watch. Every team in this group could be an upset. Like, they could be one of those teams that just streak through and have the time of their lives. And I'm excited for this group. Honestly, I think we're going to get really good soccer out of it.
This is one of those popcorn groups. It's going to be like, you honestly don't know what's going to happen, and so that's the exciting part of it. It might, you might get games that are complete blowouts, or you might get games that are tight all the way to the end. Yeah,
a whole bunch of ties in this.
Right, exactly.
And in this game,
and the thing is that a whole bunch of ties doesn't mean what it usually means, during a normal span of a season, right? If you tie, that's a result. Great, you got a point. You kind of keep moving on. It's a really long season. Here, you've got 3 matches. So a tie means you were pushing for it. And it means that your next game, you don't want to tie, because ties, they're helpful, but they're not wins, right? Like,
exactly.
I know it's simple. It's a simple logic to follow that a tie is not a win, and 3 points is better than 1. But when it comes down to it, that 1 point might be the difference of you getting through. So
exactly,
if it runs into it, we might have to go through tiebreakers and things like that, because we're probably going to get a couple of those, and then people will have to dig through the stats to be like, okay, well, even though this team ended up on the same points, you got to go down to goals scored, to yellow cards, there was one year that a team didn't make it because they got 1 extra yellow card than the team that they tied with.
It can get really down to the nitty gritty. And I think if there's a group that this is going to happen in, it's very likely going to be this one.
So to give you numbers, for Anna Maria, she's number 9. And for Fabienne, unfortunately, there is no number on the Fox Sports website. So I don't have a number, but look for the last name Hum and Humm.
Definitely. And sometimes a lot of the rosters, they haven't been given numbers yet. So we're going off what's been released as of the day we record this, Yeah. Sometimes we don't know. Yeah. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes things get changed. So if things are different, sorry about it.
So that's Group A. And we've got our cap, Ali Riley, playing for New Zealand, which is going to kick off the entire thing Thursday, July 20th at midnight. So remember, go get ready on the 19th, because it's going to be at midnight for rolling into the 20th. New Zealand versus Norway on Fox. So it's going to be the main Fox channel, not Fox Sports 1, not anything
like regular
else.
TV Fox.
Regular
Network TV.
Network TV Fox, Fox.com, or the Fox Sports app, with your logins, Telemundo in Spanish, and Peacock also in Spanish. So make sure you catch the opening match.
You going to a watch party? You staying home and watching it from home? You have kids, so you're probably
kids.
gonna.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be staying home for most of these, if not all of these late night ones. It's got to be here just in case someone wakes up in the middle of the night while I'm watching a game.
Totally. Yeah. For this one, I will most likely be watching it from home, because I will have to be at work at 8 a.m. But I will absolutely watch that game 100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not missing it, but we'll see what time I wake up for work.
Yeah, we should post selfies or something for that. First, we made it, little check-ins throughout World Cup. Are you alive? Have you been sleeping? Are you okay? just heat checks. Like, hey, everybody who's still really tired.
We need a little hashtag for like the morning after World Cup hangover.
We'll
the
come
World
up
Cup
with
hangover.
one. Yeah, we'll come up with one by the time kickoff occurs.
So if you made it this far, thank you. And follow us on all our platforms. We've got Apple Podcasts, we've got Spotify, we've got Google, we've got et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. Just check us out on our website, casualfc.com. We have all the links there. I checked all the boxes, so they're going to be everywhere. Also, follow us on our social media at casualfcpod. And that's going to be on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and any new version that someone wants to do to screw Elon Musk. Help us out by subscribing to the pod on your favorite platforms. Share it with a friend. Let them know. Let them learn. Leave a comment. Engage with us. DM us. Message us. Say hi at the games. It's all fun. So, till the next time. Bye.
Bye.